The Rookie of the Year award, the most cursed award in the NBA.
There's a kind of a curse with Rookie of the Year. Nobody's ever repeated it.
Besides the curse, it's a pretty good award. It signifies that 1, you're in front of your peers in terms of skill. 2, you've achieved something even if your team stinks. And lastly, gives you notoriety you can later use to negotiate an astronomical deal once your rookie contract is done. You know me, I love some 2010s. That's the decade I grew up with basketball. And luckily, that's the decade with some of the craziest Rookie of the Years. So today, I'm gonna look at every Rookie of the Year award winner since the 2010s. From the oldest award winners to guys who peaked in their first season and are out of the league now. Let's figure out what happened to all these players.
Good. He's good, man. He's going to be one of those players that's going to be good for a long, long time. We're going to be talking about him for a long time.
Here's probably the greatest random rookie season of all time. Answer me this. Big O, MJ, LeBron, and Luka. What do these guys have in common? All 3 of them averaged 25-5 and won the Rookie of the Year, just like Tyreke Evans. Tyreke's rookie year didn't come completely out of nowhere. He was the man back in high school.
We up against the #1 player in the country.
American Christian and Academy of New Church. Don't miss it.
He was the MVP of the McDonald's All-American game, plus he was one of the central figures of the Gunning for the #1 spot documentary. At the University of Memphis, he averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, and helped his team go on a 26-game winning streak at one point. Due to his size, athleticism, and age, he was touted as a top 5 prospect.
With the 4th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Tyreke Evans from the University of Memphis.
He was part of an amazing rookie class. Steph, Harden, Jeff Teague, Ricky Rubio, all were selected that year. So how did he win Rookie of the Year and not literally any of those other players? Well, he basically fell into a perfect situation. He was selected by the Kings, who were still trying to bounce back and build a playoff team after the Webber, Peja, and Bibby years. Their best player, Kevin Martin, who averaged over 30 points in the first 5 games of the season, got hurt. So this allowed Tyreke to become a starter, and he made use of the opportunity. In November, he averaged 25-5 in nearly 38 minutes of action. He also won the Rising Stars Challenge MVP. And at the end of the season, Evans led all rookies in scoring with 20 points per game and was second in assists with nearly 6 per game. Evans received 67 first place votes and a total of 491 points, beating out Steph and Brandon Jennings. While his stats were out of this world, people were aware of his flaws even back in 2010. I mean, his handles were amazing, but he struggled with keeping the ball. He often went to the basket without reading the defense, just hurling himself at the basket, despite having one of the most famous game-winning buzzer beaters. He wasn't a good 3-point shooter, especially when you compare him to some of his draft classmates like Curry and Harden. But the biggest question about Evans was, what was he? An oversized point guard, a strong shooting guard, or an undersized small forward? Well, don't ask the Sacramento Kings, because they definitely didn't know the answer. So how did the rest of his career go? Well, not all that great. By second year, his shooting percentage dropped down by nearly 5%. His skill set remained the same, and the Kings failed to bring players that would mesh with Tyreke. The Kings roster featured players like DeMarcus Cousins and Carl-Anthony, who clogged the paint, limiting Evans' ability to drive to the rim. He had decent roles on the Pelicans and Pacers in his later years, but he failed to match his rookie season output. Numbers-wise, he did have a good season during the 2017 through 2018 season with the Grizzlies, but since they were trying to tank and draft young talent, they weren't looking to keep Evans for long. In 2019, Evans was dismissed from the NBA for violating the league's anti-drug program. He was the 13th player to be disqualified from the NBA since 1986 for drug-related reasons. After 3 years, the league announced Evans wasn't suspended anymore. In 2022, he signed with the Milwaukee Bucks G League affiliate, the Wisconsin Herd. However, he was just released after 2 games. So if he's not in the league, where's Tyreke now? Well, we don't really know. He hasn't been active on Twitter since 2021 or on Instagram since 2022. The latest news I could find on Evans was that he was considering the possibility of moving to play in Europe for the first time in his career. I want to hear from you also. Do you think Tyreke derailed his own career, or did NBA teams just misuse his skills? Unlike most Rookie of the Year winners, Griffin didn't play in the NBA immediately following his draft year. He joined the likes of Jerry Lucas, Larry Bird, and David Robinson, who all had delayed starts in their careers for various reasons. Griffin was drafted in 2009, but his official rookie season didn't start until a season later. Blake played in the 2009 through 2010 Summer League, where he took the MVP trophy home, but he broke his kneecap in the final preseason game, which means he had to miss the entire 2009 through 2010 season while recovering. Blake used this year to get accustomed to the NBA lifestyle. And then he made his return with a vengeance. Blake's highlight reel dunks quickly made him a fan favorite and brought much needed attention to the Clippers, a team not traditionally seen as a powerhouse. Stats-wise, Griffin was more than impressive. He was a scoring and rebounding machine. As a rookie, he set a franchise record, and at one point, he had 27 double-doubles in a row, which was the longest rookie streak since 1968. He also set a Clippers franchise record for the most points by a rookie in a single game against the Indiana Pacers with 47. But Blake wasn't just a dunker. I mean, he had a decent jump shot, some solid post moves, and could move with the ball in transition. Blake was also the first rookie voted into the All-Star game by coaches since Tim Duncan in '98. Also, some might not know, but he also participated in one small contest. By the end of the season, Blake swept the Western Conference Rookie of the Month awards throughout the season, and he played in all 82 games, averaging a team high of 22.5 points, 12 rebounds, and 38 minutes on the floor. All that as a 21-year-old coming off a crazy injury. While the Clippers had an underwhelming 32 wins in Blake's first season, things soon changed with the trade of Chris Paul.
Are you serious? That'd be Lob City. Oh my gosh.
The Lob City era of the Clippers saw them compete for a title for a better part of the decade. Griffin earned 4 more consecutive All-Star appearances in that period, and served as a centerpiece with CP3, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, and Jamal Crawford. Unfortunately, the Clippers infamously never made it past the second round in those years. And after giving Blake a 5-year, $175 million max contract, the Clippers parted ways with him. Blake went to the Pistons and had one of the best years of his career, posting over 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, helping Detroit make the playoffs. But then he got injured again, and had a fallout with the Pistons and moved to Brooklyn. In the 2022 through 2023 season, he went to Boston, and the year after that, Blake went home. He decided to sit out the season to focus more on parenting. NBA players are still people, and parenting takes a lot of work. A whole lot. I mean, go ask your mom and dad. After a day of working and then hitting the court for some basketball in the evening, the last thing I want to do that day is spend another couple hours trying to make food to eat. Preparing food, cooking it, washing dishes, it's all mentally taxing and very time consuming. And before you know it, you're either grabbing something you shouldn't be eating out of the fridge or scrolling through a delivery app and also getting something that's probably not the best. But this is where our sponsor for today's video, Factor 75, can help us. Their service is made for people trying to spend more time in the gym or wherever you'd rather be and not in the kitchen. To start, it comes right to your door, so you can cut out the shopping. And Factor helps keep it fresh by putting ice in the package, that way it doesn't go bad if you aren't at the house. And the next steps are so simple, even a baby could do it. Open the box, look at the instructions, heat it up, and eat. For example, I have the Indian butter chicken with cilantro lime cauliflower rice. And part of their wellness shot variety pack, I got the turmeric spice shot to give my stomach a little evening boost. With Factor, it's all there. Taste, convenience, and the best part, it keeps my head in the game, focused on what I love. Basketball, not figuring out what's for lunch or dinner. So click the link below and use code LOCKDOWNK50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next box. Hey, it's helping me play basketball more. What else could a man want? Again, that's LOCKDOWNK50 at Factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your second box while your subscription is active.
Dang, man. 5 minutes takes forever. Dang.
That right there is Kyrie Irving, a young Duke star that put his name in the draft lottery after just 1 season in college. And he has reasons to be nervous. Most mock drafts have him going as the #1 pick in the 2011 draft. He's been considered a top talent since high school when he was ranked first in the country. However, he didn't get a huge chance to show off his skills in college due to an injury. In his first 8 games, he averaged over 17 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds on 53% from the field. Then in the 9th game, he suffered an injury that derailed his college career. That injury caused him to play only 303 minutes total in college.
Kyrie actually played more games for me with the U.S. team than he did for
Duke.
He had to prove a lot, and the expectations were high. So high, in fact, that after a rough debut game, there were already articles written about Kyrie and the future of the Cavs. Bleacher's Report ran an article that broke down Kyrie's debut in detail and how it compared to LeBron's. While James scored 25 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, and had 9 assists in his first game, Irving only scored 6 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, and had 7 assists. Both players lost their first games, and Kyrie was outscored by the Cavs' other rookie, Tristan Thompson, who had 14 points that night. But this was an overreaction. Kai did bounce back, averaging 18 points and 5 assists in his first month of NBA action. He earned a spot in the Rising Stars Challenge where he scored 34 points on just 13 shots, and subsequently was awarded the event's MVP trophy. But I want to break it down. 3 things made Kyrie stand out in his rookie season. First thing is scoring up close. Even though Kyrie wasn't the type to dunk very often, in part because of his toe injury, he was excellent at getting the ball into the basket when he was close to it.
Then takes it away and lays it up.
Being able to finish with both hands made it easier to get past bigger defenders and make those crucial close-range shots, even when it seemed like there was no way through. I'd have to say the second thing is his three-point shooting. Kyrie was really good at scoring from long distance. In his rookie year, he was sinking about 40% of his shots from beyond the three-point line, which is pretty impressive. And thirdly, and of course, his dribbling. Right from the start, Kyrie always had that bag. He could weave through players, change directions quickly, and make space for himself to either get a shot off or dime it to someone else.
Kyrie will have you beat and then bring it back and play with it like he toyed with people.
So how did Kyrie adapt so quickly to the league? Well, in short, Coach K. The intense practice sessions at Duke prepared Kyrie for the NBA's pace and demands, setting a strong foundation for his rookie season.
You know, he's more than just a coach to me and to countless others. You know, when he first recruited me when I was 16, 17 years old, you know, I thought the guy was brilliant, but I thought he was a little crazy. You know, and the way he approached things and how, you know, he got guys to buy in.
At the end of the season, despite the Cavs' abysmal record, Irving secured the Rookie of the Year award with an overwhelming majority, receiving 117 out of a possible 120 first-place votes. For Kai, what had to be his most memorable moment from his rookie year wasn't a huge highlight play, but a missed shot in a tight game against Indiana. Despite the miss, it was a huge learning experience. It showed Kai just how much his team trusted him, which boosted his confidence a lot. This laid the foundation for Kyrie's future clutch performances. So what happened to Kai after his rookie year? Well, a whole lot of things. LeBron, of course, came back to the Cavs in the 2014 through 2015 season, got Kevin Love on the team, and made them instant contenders. To keep it short, they made the finals in their first season together, but Kai and Love were hurt and they lost in the finals. Then they made another finals appearance, they went down 3-1 and lost. Oh wait, they made it the most incredible comeback. Wait, my bad.
This is it right here, and I'm very happy that I had the trust of my teammates and the trust of my coaching staff to take a big shot like that. So I'm happy it resulted in a win, and I mean, it was a Game 7 to remember, and I'm glad that we made history tonight. And
in their third and final appearance, they lost again to you-know-who. Well, Kai wanted his own team, so he asked to be traded. He got traded to Boston, then decided he didn't want his own team, so he went to Brooklyn. There, he decided to burn some sage and ask for another trade. He finally landed in Dallas in 2023, where he teamed up with Luka. They are currently one of the best duos in the league and are hoping to make a title run. If they won by the time you see this video, comment below. And if they didn't, comment still. YouTube likes comments and so do I. At Weber State, a university far from the college basketball spotlight, Lillard transformed from an under-the-radar prospect to a 2-star recruit into a certified lottery pick. In his junior year, he averaged over 24 points and set school records in scoring threes and free throws made. And that was enough to convince Portland to pick him.
With the 6th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Damian Lillard of Weber State University.
There were some questions about the level of competition Dame faced in college.
Now, playing in a smaller school, like how serious is that ball being played there? I mean, is it the same kind of level you see in those bigger schools?
I think high major guys, you see a 6'6" 2 guard, whereas my level, you'll see a 6'3" 2 guard. A lot of them end up in the NBA. You know, when you're at a lower level, I think that's when it's important to be able to think the game and develop yourself so when it comes time, you can compete on the same floor as these guys.
But soon it became apparent that Dame was the real deal. After winning the Summer League MVP, Dame started off hot. He had one of the best debut games in NBA history by scoring 23 points and dishing out 11 assists against Kobe and the Lakers, with clutch buckets against the Knicks, New Orleans, and Houston.
Into Lynn, leans, scores again! He can't be a rookie, can he?
Dame made the foundation for one of the most clutch careers in NBA history. Even as a rookie, he ranked 16th in the league in clutch points scored. He also snagged the Taco Bell Skills Challenge during the All-Star weekend.
This might be the Rookie of the Year in the end. Might be. Yeah.
His consistency earned him the Kia Western Conference Rookie of the Month award for every month of the season. He was actually the 9th player in NBA history who managed to do this. Lillard's rookie campaign saw him join Oscar Robertson and Allen Iverson as the only rookies to amass over 1,500 points and 500 assists in a season. Trae Young is the only player since Dame to duplicate this. He scored over 30 points 5 times in his rookie season with a record 38 points in an insane duel with Kobe in April. Kobe dropped 47 in a Lakers win and had to say this about Dame in the post-game interview.
Damian Lillard certainly didn't look like a rookie tonight. You had to find an answer for him. He did late, but what do you think about his game?
I mean, that boy's serious, man. He's serious, and he's not afraid of anything. And, he has a whole package. He's got the 3-ball, the mid-range, get all the way to the rim, obviously.
And for the Rookie of the Year award, Dame received all 121 first-place votes. The young unibrow Anthony Davis came in second, and Bradley Beal placed third. Lillard led all rookies in scoring, assists, and minutes played. He averaged 19 points per game, 6.5 assists, and played an average of nearly 39 minutes per game. Lillard became the first player from a Utah college to achieve this honor and joined the ranks of unanimous Rookie of the Year selections alongside Ralph Sampson, David Robinson, and Blake Griffin. In subsequent years, Lillard quickly became the face of the Blazers franchise and consistently delivered superstar-level performances throughout the years. But the Blazers often found themselves hovering between playoff contention and the draft lottery, failing to advance deep into the playoffs. From 2015 to 2022, the Blazers rarely secured high lottery picks, which limited their chances of drafting top-tier talent. But despite all of this, Dame stayed with Portland for 11 years, until the summer of 2023, when he requested a trade and wound up in Milwaukee, chasing a ring with Giannis. Okay, here's possibly the most interesting Rookie of the Year award winners. Everyone knows about Carter Williams' crazy debut against Miami, where he was 3 rebounds and a steal away from a quadruple-double. And you may know about his rookie season, where he averaged 17, 6, and 6, and won the Rookie of the Year pretty convincingly. And you probably know that he didn't do much after it. So what happened? While his freshman year at Syracuse wasn't anything to brag about, Michael made a huge jump in his second year. As a sophomore, he averaged 12 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and nearly 3 steals. The only problem? Michael's shooting. In his final college season, he shot 40% from the floor and under 30% from 3. But there was no reason he shouldn't be successful in the league. He already drew comparisons to players like Rondo and Jay Kidd, guys who managed to win awards and championships without being great shooters or one-on-one players. Michael was quick, had great court vision, and was a menace once he got near the bucket, which he showed in his pre-draft workouts.
I need to use the post as an advantage and really get good at the post game and learn different moves and just have it in my game.
Selected 11th overall by the Sixers, Carter Williams hit the ground running with that monster game against the best player in the world. While he was 1 steal away from a triple-double in his first game, he managed to snag 1 against Victor Oladipo in the Magic a few weeks later. By the end of the season, Carter Williams led all rookies in points, rebounds, assists, and steals per game, making a compelling case for the Rookie of the Year award. Stat-wise, he was the best rookie the Sixers had since Allen Iverson. But while Michael was playing great, Philly wasn't. They suffered 63 losses that season, including an embarrassing 26-game losing streak, tying an NBA record. But since the best rookies land on the worst teams, most voters don't usually pay that much attention to the team record when picking Rookie of the Year. That's why Michael won the award by a landslide. He got 569 votes, including 104 first-place votes. However, there were some people questioning the validity of his success. The fact was, the Sixers began the infamous process that season and were looking to tank in order to draft as many good prospects as possible. Carter Williams had free reign to do basically whatever he wanted on the floor. For example, he attempted 519 jumpers in just his rookie season. However, he knocked down only 104 of them, which amounts to roughly 20%. His shot selection was also pretty rough. There weren't many areas on the court where MCW could knock down shots at a league average level. He was top 10 in worst field goal percentage that season, and he didn't seem to improve one bit during his rookie season. Unfortunately, the fact that he was putting up empty stats on a really bad team became apparent in his subsequent seasons. After a great rookie campaign, Michael played for the Milwaukee Bucks, Chicago Bulls, Charlotte Hornets, and Houston Rockets before joining the Orlando Magic. Although Jason Kidd and Carter Williams shared a lot of similarities in their game, their careers diverged significantly as time progressed. Like Carter Williams, Kidd was initially criticized for his shooting ability, earning the nickname Ace Kidd for lacking a J. But Kidd worked tirelessly to improve his shooting, eventually becoming a reliable shooter and ranking in the top 10 for three-pointers made in NBA history. Just look at these two head-to-head. Yeah, not quite the identical careers. On the other hand, Carter Williams never had a full season where he shot over 30%. He came into the league at the wrong time. We were on the verge of the three-point revolution as he was finishing his rookie season, and teams weren't looking for players with his playstyle anymore. MCM was last seen on an NBA roster in 2023. He was waived that year by the Magic and hasn't played in the league since. He's a human pogo stick with go-go gadget arms. His ceiling is so high because he is physically capable of making any play. Wiggins has the frame and the athleticism of an NBA superstar. When people are saying these kinds of things about you, it's safe to say that the expectations for you are real high. In high school, Wiggins had one of the most amazing mixtapes ever, becoming the #1 player in America and got the nickname Maple Jordan. As a side note, I do love this Reddit post from 10 years ago in which a user fantasized about a world in which Wiggins was MJ and Kawhi was his Pippen. Hilarious. He had a knack for hitting big shots, length to play serious defense, and insane athleticism. At Kansas, he averaged 17 points, 6 rebounds, and shot 44% as a freshman. So the hype train continued rolling. He declared for the draft after his lone college season. His pre-draft measurements were nearly 6'9" in shoes, a 7-foot wingspan, and an 8'11" standing reach. And he had a 44-inch vertical. Kids, this picture right here and this video. Oh, yeah, you saw that. Nearly broke the internet back in the day. His play was good enough to have him selected #1 overall by the Cavs. But as you may remember, this was the same year LeBron came back home. And since the King couldn't wait for any player to develop, before the season even started, Wiggins was traded to the Wolves for Kevin Love. If he was nicknamed Maple James, maybe things would have been different. Career-wise, this was a good move for Wiggins. He had the opportunity to play on a team with little to no expectations of making the playoffs, so he could develop at his own pace. During his debut season, he lived up to the hype, to a certain extent. He had his ups and downs, but when he played good, it looked really good. Example, his best game that season came up against the team that drafted him and traded him in a heartbeat. Against Bron, Kyrie, and Love, he put up 33 points. Also, against Kobe on national TV, Wiggins put up 29 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and dished out 6 assists.
Especially that was a good one right there. Wiggins over Kobe. What a play by Andrew.
On their way down the floor, you can see Wiggins tell the legend, "I learned that from you," with a smile.
At the end of the season, Wiggins became the first Timberwolves player to win the Rookie of the Year award, something even KG couldn't do. And Wiggins won in a landslide. I mean, these numbers show you all you need to know. He finished the year averaging 17 points a night, which made him the second best scorer on the team and the best overall in his rookie class. Yeah, his shooting still wasn't great. He shot below 44% from the field, but most shoot below league average while adjusting to the NBA. And most expected Wiggins to turn into a superstar. For the next 2 seasons, it definitely looked like it. He upped his scoring averages to 20 in his second year and 23 in his third year. After signing a huge contract, however, his numbers dipped in his 4th year. But this was also the season the Wolves added Jimmy Butler in an effort to come back to the playoffs, so it kind of made sense. But even after Butler left the team, his numbers didn't bounce back. Even worse, actually. The fans felt like he didn't really seem to care. In his entire career as a Minnesota Timberwolf, Wiggins would average around 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. He went to the playoffs once and underperformed. Not really all that Kobe-like, but luckily he got traded to one of the best organizations in the past decade, the Golden State Warriors. There, Wiggins would finally find a role as a two-way player, earn his first All-Star appearance, and become possibly the second best player on a championship-winning team. Another year, another Timberwolf. Cat actually had the most Rookie of the Year type rookie year. Let me explain. He came into the league after a great college career at Kentucky, where he had multiple future NBA players as teammates. Cat was the first pick in the draft and was expected to be a transcending player. Kevin Durant said to the Associated Press that Cat was going to be a Hall of Famer, and Cat looked like he was going to fulfill all of the expectations. He was a 6'11", 250-pound center who could post up people and bully them in the paint, and stretch the floor with his shooting. The perfect big man for the modern NBA. It didn't take long for Towns to prove himself. In his second NBA game, he recorded 28 points, 14 boards, and 4 blocks. He averaged 18 points, 10 boards, and nearly 2 blocks per game. And he also recorded 51 double-doubles and a PER of 22.6. Towns then had 19 games where he recorded at least 25 points and 10 boards. The rest of his draft class had 9 such games combined. Not enough accomplishments from your Rookie of the Year? Well, here's some more. He was the 5th player in NBA history to win Rookie of the Year unanimously. Only 2 rookies had higher field goal percentages than Cat, Shaq and Tim Duncan. And somehow this Bleacher Report graphic demonstrates that he had the best rookie season out of all Kentucky players. Yeah, don't ask me how. I don't understand it either. After his rookie season, Cat didn't fall off. He continued to get better and backed up his #1 pick selection. But did he live up to the hype? Well, not completely. He has his critics. Some labeled him as soft because nowadays he tends to avoid getting in the paint. He settles for jumpers and rebounds less than he did earlier in his career. Nonetheless, he's what people wanted him to be. an all-star, an all-NBA caliber player, and one of the best centers in the league. Now, this is definitely the strangest Rookie of the Year race. At 7 feet tall, 250 pounds of muscle, and incredible basketball IQ, Joel Embiid was called one of the best prospects at the center position in the last decade. He was one of the 30 finalists for the College Player of the Year award, and despite suffering a stress fracture in his back, he was selected as the 3rd pick in the 2014 NBA draft. Wait, wasn't Malcolm Brogdon the topic here? Why are we talking about Joel Embiid? I mean, simply put, Embiid was the highly touted prospect everyone expected to take the Rookie of the Year, easily. However, Embiid's luck with injuries didn't get any better in the 2016 through 2017 season. Even though he won multiple Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month awards and averaged 20 points and 8 rebounds, he only appeared in 31 games. On the other hand, we have Malcolm Brogdon. Drafted in the 2nd round, Brogdon came into the league with no expectations. He played all 4 years in college and put up some good numbers, but he wasn't considered a top prospect by any chance. Players selected in the 36th spot only have a 20% chance of making it to the league as role players. Also, less than 20% of all 2nd rounders have been selected in the 1st or 2nd team all-rookie. In short, before the season started, no one gave Brogdon much of a chance to have a great rookie year, let alone win the Rookie of the Year trophy. So how did Brogdon's season go? Well, for a rookie, pretty well. For a 2nd round pick, fantastic. His college experience allowed him to jump on a team and become productive right away. He instantly earned a role on a team that was a lock for the postseason, and he eventually became a starter, played elite defense, and shot over 40% from 3-point. Brogdon also led all the rookies in assists and snatched a triple-double that season. Yes, he only averaged 10 points and 4 assists, but still, he holds many weird records. For instance, the record for averaging the least points and winning Rookie of the Year, the record for being the oldest Rookie of the Year, and he's also the lowest draft pick to win it in NBA history. Plus, he's the only Rookie of the Year to do this to LeBron. And on top of that, Malcolm's a great guy too. Instead of spending tons of money on his Rookie of the Year campaign, he went straight to the Bucks front office and asked for the money to be allocated to go to charity. The rest of his career, I mean, not too bad. Better than some of the more high-profile guys from this video. While he never made an all-star appearance, he earned more than $100 million so far, won the 6th Man of the Year award, and is a member of the 50-40-90 club along some legends you might have heard of. If someone told me back in 2018 that Ben Simmons would possibly be out of the NBA by his 7th season, it's safe to say I'd call that person a casual and tell them they know nothing about the NBA. But here we are. Y'all don't know just how much hype there was around Ben Simmons. He was supposed to be the next Magic, the LeBron of this generation.
I look at the NBA, which I've watched for 4 decades, and I say this now with Ben Simmons. Hey, LeBron, we're good, bro. You can go.
As a freshman at LSU, he was one of the best playmakers in college basketball and a nightmare matchup even for the best defenders out there. I mean, just check out these numbers. 19, 12, and 5 on 56% shooting. And we got a decent sample size too. 32 games with 35 minutes on the floor. Sure, he didn't have a jump shot, but neither did Magic and LeBron in their first few seasons. We just have to be patient with them. Are you noticing a pattern too with the Sixers draft picks? The Sixers got him with the first pick, and he immediately went to work, averaging 10, 7, and 5 in the summer league. Unfortunately, he injured his right foot, fracturing a bone during training camp, so he got redshirted for an entire year. The fact he wasn't a real rookie caused some controversy later and led to this insane Donovan Mitchell hoodie. But we'll skip that for now. Simmons used the time off to bulk up, and he entered the season with more than 30 pounds of added muscle, and he muscled his way to averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. He went on to record 12 triple-doubles that season, which ranked him 3rd in the league, only behind Russ and LeBron. In league history, he was only ranked behind the legendary Oscar Robertson, who had 26 triple-doubles in his first year. And he also became the 2nd rookie after Big O to post up at least 1,200 points, 600 rebounds, and 600 assists during the regular season. And most importantly, he helped the Sixers win over 50 games that season, which was the most since their 2000 through 2001 campaign when they made the finals. No one was surprised when Ben received the Rookie of the Year. But not everyone was happy. According to NBA rules, Ben was considered a rookie because he sat out the previous season due to injury. But his main Rookie of the Year competitor, Donovan Mitchell, wasn't really agreeing. To prove his point and express his disagreement, Mitchell even wore the hoodie that I mentioned earlier with a dictionary definition of rookie on it. But they hugged it out at the award ceremony and everything was fine in the end. Everyone was so sure that Ben would become the next NBA superstar, I mean, his rookie card was selling for $150,000. Yeah, it's safe to say no one had doubts about him becoming a superstar. Over the next 3 seasons, he went on to make the All-Star team every season and a few All-NBA teams. Other than improving his defense, he didn't make any huge changes to his game. Almost all of his shots came from in the paint, and all his career 3-point shots can be fit into a 6.5-minute video. Of course, after his catastrophic performance in the 2021 playoffs, where he became the worst free throw shooter in postseason history, Ben Simmons just fell off. He asked for a trade, got his wishes, and sat out an entire season in Brooklyn. And since that playoff meltdown, he's only appeared in 57 games. But before you go berating him, he's also been facing some serious injuries over the past couple of years, so I guess you have to take that into account.
You need a box office attraction who can flat out ball, who's a big boy, the size, the athleticism, and the combination of all of those things with his gifts that you simply can't teach.
Good one, Stephen A. Great take as usual. Size, skill,
Run the show once again. Oh, lovely skill.
and magic.
Laying. And Luka Dončić with the full corner.
Definitely magic. Just some of the words people have used to describe Luka since he was still a kid. While his EuroLeague rookie numbers look ridiculously low to your average NBA stat head, the fact is, he made his debut while he was only 16 years old. He didn't play a lot of minutes in his debut season, but he did manage to become a bench player for a Real Madrid team that had 6 former NBA players. Just a few years later, he boosted his numbers to 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 26 minutes of action. Luka was cooking.
Luka had a whole different warm-up. You could see the swagger, you could see the confidence. And the whole time I'm thinking, look at this cocky little 18-year-old coming in here dressing different than the whole team. I'm like, who does he think he is? The bigger guys, he were taking them off the dribble, one-on-one isolation, blowing by them. We tried to put smaller guards on him. After that, I said he can wear whatever he wants in warm-ups. He can do whatever he wants because this kid is the real thing.
And he also managed to become a EuroLeague champion and the youngest MVP in the history of the league. In 2018, he formally declared for the draft. While he was expected to be one of the top picks, possibly even the first, scouts were concerned about his athleticism and ability to adapt to the physicality of the NBA. But Luka was playing as a grown man since he was a kid. The Atlanta Hawks selected him 3rd overall in the draft. But in an insane night full of trades, Luka got traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Trae Young. This was the perfect team for him. With not much expectations and Dirk as a mentor, Luka learned the game slowly, but the guy was a fast learner. When you break his stats month by month, you realize how ridiculous Luka was. For instance, November was the worst month of his rookie year, where he averaged 18, 7, and 4. Yeah, that was a bad stat line for Luka. By February, he was averaging 23, 9, and 7 on 53% shooting. His only competition for the Rookie of the Year was the guy he was traded for. Despite having a slow start to the season, Young picked up the pace after the All-Star break, averaging over 25 points and nearly 9 assists. Trae was basically running the Hawks offense, which ranked top 8 in the league, all on his own. He also had support from guys like Donovan Mitchell, Kyle Kuzma, and Blake Griffin. Despite all of that, he had a huge turnover rate. He ranked bottom 10 in the league and was considered a huge defensive liability.
Want to see the Rookie of the Year? It ain't DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix, regardless of what happened when he dropped 23 and 18 last night in Boston. It's this kid, Luka Dončić. That's who it is. The Rookie of the Year to be.
And while some believe that the Rookie of the Year was close between the two, Luka won by a comfortable margin. He finished the season averaging 21, 8, and 6. Only 17 other players in NBA history had a similar stat line, and only 6 of them are not currently in the Hall of Fame. And 2 guys matched those stats in their rookie years, Michael Jordan and Oscar Robertson. Luka's offensive box plus minus of 2.9 and defensive box plus minus of 1.2 put him in exclusive company with players like Magic, MJ, and CP3. In that season, Luka ranked in the top 10 for not just all rookies, but all players in clutch points.
Indeed. Got it. Here in the corner, Luka goes in. 2 down. Luka for the tie. He got it. Switched on to Luka. Luka with the step back 3. Oh yeah!
Since then, too many things have happened in Luka's career. We have game winners on top of game winners. There's the epic 7-game beatdown of the Suns in 2022 and dropping 73 points in a game. I'll let Chuck finish this one for me.
I mean, let me tell you something. That boy Dončić, he's the real deal. As we used to say in my day, that's a bad white boy.
When a player wins the Rookie of the Year, most expect them not only to keep the production, but to increase it in subsequent years. That's not always the case. Guys like Tyreke Evans and Michael Carter-Williams had great rookie years, but weren't able to keep the level of production in later years. And it turned out their rookie years were their best years. Some players simply needed time to develop. The last 6 MVPs weren't Rookies of the Year. Some of them didn't even make the all-rookie first team. Wembanyama will probably win this year's Rookie of the Year. It's not exactly a hot take to say that, but how will he perform in subsequent years?